Okay, here we are. We have our domain controller that we've already set up, and this is Windows 10. I've logged into Windows 10 already, just so we can see it now. What you can do, Windows 10 again, no, is a couple of small things just to make sure it fits in with the rest of your setup. Now, obviously, you want some kind of naming convention, so this here we need to change the the name of the computer as well. So we're going to do that just in a minute though, and we're going to actually join domain all at the same time, and it'll do a restart. So we'll do that in a minute. Now let's minimise that. So this is my domain here, test.local. Now we want to join this machine, the Windows 10, to test.local. So now to make sure that it works, there's a couple of things we have to do first. First of all, make sure on your virtual machine that you have put in the guest edition CD image. Now if I go here, I'll show you, install it, put it in, and go to export. You'll see this is guest edition. Now I've already done it, so I'm not going to bother doing it again, but you guys will have to. Just make sure you do. Say yes. Now it should come up with a menu. Don't know why it's not. Oh, here we go. Right. And then you've got your setup comes here. Okay, now you go through the setup and all the way through, and I'll do a restart. So do that first. Okay, now I'm not going to bother because I've already done it. Right, I've done the same on here again as well. So devices, again, insert guest editions. Make sure you do that as well. Now, just to test that things are working, we're going to use a ping. Now, I'm going to ping my first machine. Oh, sorry. Wait, let's take a step back. On your machine here, Windows 10 machine, you're going to have to make sure you've got an IP address that fits in with the IP address that you have on your network already. So go to network and sharing center. Choose your adapter 2. Now you should set up an IP address. Right, so go to properties, and this should be your IP address to tie in with the one here. So we've got 192.168.1.1 as you can see here, but we want to make sure that this talks to that machine, so put them in the same subnet. So 192.168.1.2 will do, and the subnet mask 255.255, just the default will do. Default gateway, we're going to use this as a default gateway, and the DNS server is your domain controller as well, so we're going to be using that. Okay, so make sure that you've got all this set up just as I do. Now, if you're doing assessment, you may be asked to do a different subnet. So whatever subnet you're given, this is the IP addressing that you would use for both machines. So I'm just giving a demonstration here, so I'm using 1 and 2. Okay, so I'm going to close that. Make sure that we've got that done. Next thing we're going to do is get the IP. We're going to ping 192.168.1.1, as you can see there, which is this machine here, and hopefully we should get 4 replies. There you go, 4 replies from this one. So we'll go back to our other machine. Let's do the same on this side. So again, we're going to ping the other way. So 192.168.1.2, and hopefully I'll get 4 replies. Now you may not. You may get something that comes up and says no reply or whatever. Now that would be because Windows Firewall is set on. So what you need to do is go to Windows Firewall and make sure that you go through each one of these tabs and switch it to off. Private profile off, public profile off. Do that on both machines. Okay, so make sure you switch the firewall off on both machines, and that'll help it to work. So we've got all working. Okay, they've pinged each other, we're good. We're not worrying about where we are with it or anything else. So let's have a look at getting this machine onto the domain now. So again, this PC, properties. I'm going to change here, so change settings. And this is where we go to rename or change its domain. So I'm going to go, now obviously give it a name that makes sense with your network. So if you've got your naming convention, yeah, so I'll just put room 1 PC 1, right? Okay, so there you go. I know what it is. So room 1 PC 1 and then domain. Now your domain is going to be test.local in my case. Now your domain might be a different name, depends on what your scenario is with your assessment or whatever else. I'm just using test to work, okay? So I'll go okay now. So it's going to change its name from room 1 PC1 to, and then it's going to join test.local domain. So I'll click OK. Now make sure your server's running in the background. Okay, so that will still be running there. It's not doing anything, but it's going to be running in the background. And then it's going to ask you to put in the administrator. And the password. Okay, so the password for your domain controller. So in my case, it's password 1. So password 1 and OK. And it didn't like me, so I'll try again. Probably put the wrong password. So administrator and p at ssw number 0 rd1 and OK. And there we go. It's where you make sure you get your screenshot. So this is welcome to test.local domain and OK and OK. So then we're going to restart your machine. Leave your Windows, your server 2019 running in the background while this is doing its restart. Now this time you've got your original student password, student account that's there. Now we're going to go for other users though, okay, because we're going to sign into test, which is our new domain. So I'm just going to use the administrator account. So administrator and use the password. I've done it again. So password 1 and oh no, wait. Now to sign in, we're going to have to go with test. Okay, so that's the domain / administrator. Okay, and then put in the password. So p at ssword1, and there we go. We're in. Now I had to put the name of the domain in there / first of all. So whatever user you've got. So if you've created users for yourself or whatever, it would be domain name / whatever the user is that you want to log in as. So it's now doing the login, and obviously it's the first time that you've been into the domain, so it'll come up and do the usual Microsoft stuff. Now things could take a few minutes, so I'm going to do the pause thing so it looks like instantly. And it's telling me we're almost there and we're in. So that's us in as a domain. Now, so that's us on a domain. We can be sharing resources and whatever else, but just now that's enough. We don't need to know anymore, and we'll expand on this in future weeks. Okay, so that's you. Join your domain, and you should be able to log into your domain using other users as well. Okay, so any users that we create on the domain, like we did in the last lesson, if you watched the video and you created a couple of users, you should be able to use these test users to log in to your domain. Okay.